Going on to the culture part of the podcast, you have Trump stock down 74% in the past 6 months, which is also terrible. Specifically, it's down 74.36%. Granted, by the time this video is rendered and uploaded, it will change because that's what the stock market does. But yeah, and again, none of this is financial advice. So it's probably one of the few times where I did not invest, and actually am glad I did not invest in a company because, yeah, when you look at their financial statements and the concepts, I mean, it's one of those things where it's good and bad. Thanks to Elon Musk and also Chris with Rumble.com, you have a lot, not a lot, but you have a couple alternatives where you do have free speech. Where, again, the thing of Truth Social, not only did you hear directly from Donald Trump, in terms of you're the first one to hear what he has to say and social media, but it's also a great stalwart of all the sorry, a little bit a little too much coffee. I don't know, there's no such thing as too much coffee or caffeine. I should rephrase that. But in all seriousness, it's one of the few sites that actually stand up for the First Amendment, and there's a compelling reason to use it. But again, now that those alternatives are growing more and more, there's not really that exclusivity that Truth Social once had. And also, it's all instances where Trump is starting to repost on Twitter, and he goes on so many podcasts that are also on YouTube and Rumble. It's not really that exclusive. So, and it's lost the big allure that was driving people there. When I first heard about Truth Social, the only people I knew who had it were the people who were diehard Trump fans. And they loved the platform. And the number one reason that they told me they signed up is because, one, Trump owned it, and two, they wanted to hear directly from Trump faster than any other network or social media platform. But yeah, in terms of the financial stability of the company, I mean, it's just not there. Now, pulling up the actual stock trend, you can see currently trading for $12.80 per share. And there you can see that little time. Yeah, it looks like the peaked at around $66.22 per share. And that was March 27th. And it's going down. Actually, no, it looks like the peak overall is $79.38. And yeah, it's been crashing ever since. So it's not technically at the all-time low. It looks like the all-time low is $11.75 per share. Dividend yield is nothing, which is a little insulting. They don't even pay dividends. Now, if we go, let's see here, trying to see look at their finances. Jeez Louise. So the quarterly finances, oh man, this is where it really gets rough. Let's just start from December 2023. The revenue was $751,000, which, I mean, if I had that much personal income, that'd be astronomical. That's like a student loan and Porsche money. But yeah, it's one of those things where for a business, especially when you have so much money being spent on people and infrastructure, that's not much. So December 2023, that fiscal quarter four, the revenue was $751,000, but they lost $9.18 million. Now, Q1, the revenue, how's that even possible? It only went up, and again, for a normal person, that's a lot of money. It went only up by only $20 million. The revenue went up to $770,000, but the net income, oh my gosh, down $326 million. And then last quarter, I guess is 2024 Q2, revenue came in at $836,000, which, again, the revenue is increasing not fast enough. And the net income is negative $16.37 million. So throughout all this, it's always been negative, which, granted, a lot of tech companies have for years, but they usually have a path towards viability and profitability. And this revenue is so infinitesimal. I mean, the good news is if you're a business and you want to advertise on the platform, it should basically, I don't know, say it's free, but in terms of the cost, they would probably be hungry for sales. Their overhead isn't that much. According to this little infographic, they only have 36 employees. So not having to spend a lot of money on, overhead in terms of employee or talent relative to, I mean, they're not spending 16 or $300 million on income on the individual actual income of the folks. And the revenue is actually looks like down 29%. Operating expenses up 297%. I mean, I guess the good news is it looks like the tax rate is zero because they're losing money. Which, granted, if you lose money, you don't pay taxes. But yeah, it is just, all these numbers are just terribly concerning. And I mean, their overhead basically better be next to nothing. Again, they're spending so much money here. And again, the number one reason that people had for the platform was Trump. And it's not there anymore. Don't get me wrong, he's still on the platform, he's still posted there like first, but it's not exclusive anymore. And for a while, they had the exclusivity contract where he had to post there. And there are some people who just repost him for him on X Twitter. But again, people want to hear straight from the Donald. And it really wasn't that much of a threat. Now, as soon as Trump himself started a threat to the business, as soon as Trump himself started to post on X Twitter, that's where a lot of people just, I think, stopped even bothering to log into Truth Social. So again, I think that's the number one reason why there's any viability of it as a business. And again, Trump long term, nothing against the guy in terms of he is getting older. So that is another limiting factor in terms of this company needs to make a profit. I'm not sure how he transitions this business plan to maybe he wants his sons to take over in terms of being like the head of posting exclusively on the platform to get more. But I mean, Dom Jr. has a show on Rumble.com. I'm trying to see how this company could make a profit, how it could turn this around, how it could grow. And if I were to buy stock these days to get enough financial advice, there's too much threats, not enough opportunity for Truth Social at the moment. And I mean, it'd be hilarious by the time this video is rendered uploaded, the stock like triple or something. The odds of that are infinitesimal. That'd be hilarious. Except for speculative buying or people who just love Trump and buy it just because they like Trump, I don't see how they can actually turn this ship around. Now, we also have this article from Yahoo Tech, one of the original OG search engines, specifically Rorico, he's right over there, saying, quote, Trump media stock sinks to another new low even as Trump holds onto shares, which, again, he's multiple times, he has said he does not want to sell it, which he also kind of has to because he's the largest, he owns the majority of the stock. So if you're to sell it, good old supply versus demand, the more he sells, the less the stock will be worth per share. And for a while, he was locked up. He did not have, like many of these businesses, when they have an IPO, there's certain limitations on executives and founders of the company. They're given stock as options, but there's a special period in which they're not allowed to sell it yet. Now, that period has expired recently, and Trump though he can now technically sell it, he has affirmed and continually said that he does not want to. Now, here's a little picture of Trump right there. They say, quote, after the lockup period on Donald Trump's shares, the company that owns former president's social site, Truth Social, fell even more. Shares fell 8%, trading to $12.44 earlier this week. The tipping came from the company's capitalization to $2.5 billion, and nearly 80% plunge into high-flying days after the aftermath of the NASDAQ debut on March 26th. Despite speculation, Trump himself said earlier he has absolutely no plans to sell stock, which he'd probably say something. Oh, actually, he has a quote right here. And he says, quote, the reason I build it is because I don't want to have my voice shut down, unquote. Although he'd probably extend that quote to say, my voice is the best around. Nothing will ever take it down. Take it away, Rick Astley. But in all seriousness, now that Elon Musk has bought Twitter, I don't think it'll ever really be censored on X Twitter. So I think that, again, that main reason that really gave value to Truth Social is no longer there. You also have Rumble.com, which I don't think Trump is active as individual, like his own channel on Rumble.com, which is also a great way to turn into this show because segments aren't deleted when the YouTube doesn't like it. But it's one of those instances where, again, if Elon didn't buy X Twitter, I think it'd be much more of a compelling business reason to use Truth Social. But again, I don't see it going around. He also continued to say, quote, a lot of people think my shares, and I will sell them, they're worth billions, but I don't think I'll sell my shares. I don't need the money, unquote. He actually holds 144.75 million shares of Trump Media, or about 60% of the company's outstanding stock. In regulatory filing in June, Trump Media cited Trump's divestment for the company as one of the top risks to the business. True, because again, if you were to sell it, that price would crash like Black Rifle coffee stock or like a Boeing airplane, which dark humor and financial jokes. But yeah, the stock just continues to be viciously destroyed. Now, interestingly enough, going to the top comments here, I wonder what people are saying. Go down here. I say one of the first ones comes from Mike from Melanie saying, quote, any serious investor looking at the stock is leaving it completely alone. There's nothing in any statement that gives the impression it will do anything but continue to trend down to zero. And can't help but agree with Mike there. That got 82 up votes or up thumbs up and 0 thumbs down. Let's see. Chaz says, quote, the company does not take it anywhere near its operating costs are. The stock should be worth noting. 56 upvotes. Because again, it still has less than $1 million of revenue, which again, I commend any business that actually makes any profit or even just gets above, any revenue. It is extremely difficult starting a business, especially in that competitive area. But again, that is so small. It doesn't account. Their expenses are too hot. It just boils down there, as cliche as simplistic as it is. expenses being too high and sales being too low. They need to, I don't know who's on their sales program or who's trying to sell ads on that platform, but they need to have those people working overtime, trying to sell advertisements and premium features to everyone out there, trying to work with businesses and products to get on that platform. Because again, they need to fix that ASAP, like yesterday. Now, scrolling down more and more, you have workers saying, quote, the shares he manages to offload will just take the tanking price even more. The day after the election, he'll start trying to sell the shares and it'll become a penny stock, getting 14 upvotes. See here. A couple contrarian statements. You have Will saying, quote, he's Shaj. It's Sean Connery. He's passed away, unfortunately, but he's Shaj. Connery. I'm kidding, it's a typo, but he meant to say, he says he doesn't need the money, yet he's continually asking people to send him money to pay his legal fees, unquote, getting 13 likes. See here. David says the last paragraph has it right. The stock is worth 0, getting 20 upvotes or thumbs up. Which again, it's hard to, hard to really give a compelling reason why it's worth anything at all, except the fact that it does have the branding, which is always worth something, and you have the user base, which is worth something else. See, the data is key. Again, data is one of the most valuable things a business owns. But besides those two things, again, now that Trump's not exclusively posting on it, I have to kind of agree. I don't see how the stock goes up. And I feel bad for a lot of folks who, like, again, I think a lot of people bought the stock just because they believe in Trump. They want to support him. And I just feel bad because I don't see them getting their money. I don't think they're going to make a profit. I think they're just going to lose it all, to be frank. But let me know in the comments. Again, there's a lot of competition when it comes to social media. Granted, in terms of like freedom of speech, there's realistically 3 platforms. You do have Truth Social. But then again, you have the 800-pound gorilla in the room. You have Elon's with X Twitter. And then you have Rumble.com. So again, I think it is one of like a trifecta, but still, it's just, and then if you own a business, would you advertise on Truth Social? Would you pay to have your product or your company's logo or services advertised on there to try to increase your sales? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.